B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The Moose.
You might not be an A, but you are a B plus.
Check it out! Here we go! You wanna mess with us? 'Cause we're steady on the ground, steady on the ground.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. Today is Doesn't Matter. It's a bonus episode. This one's for you, Joolz, our super producer. This is one of our custom episodes where we're going to list, according to Joolz, he wants to hear our top 5 theme songs of all time. If you want to give us custom episodes that you want us to do, it can be top 5s. It can be discussing a specific pay-per-view. It can be just a topic that you want us to talk about. Whatever you want, really. Make us watch wrestling movies. I don't really care. It's up to you. You want to do it, you just got to jump to patreon.com/thebplus. Where you can support us there, and all the money goes into growing the show, etc. You've heard the ads before. Joining me, of course, as she usually does on these custom episodes, the one and only, more successful than I on Patreon, Danders. How are you?
Living large, my friend, living large. Let's not do the Patreon comparison.
It's unfair? Because it's unfair?
It's really unfair. It's really unfair. Yeah. So let's, please don't suggest wrestling movies. Wrestling movies are so bad.
Wrestling movies are amazing. Someone make us watch Ready to Rumble, please. I love David Arquette so much.
No. But
There's some good wrestling movies out there.
Let's stop talking about wrestling movies. I know I brought it up again. But this, Joolz, has been the toughest thing for me because, like, stables I can be fine with, British wrestlers, whatever. Theme songs are my fucking jam, whether it be TV themes, movie themes. I've been listening to, like, Disney soundtracks all day. Just theme songs are my jam. I nearly went Big Boy Mikey with this and had 12 honorable mentions on a top 5 list, but I managed to, there was some last minute shuffles, but yeah, loved this topic.
It was very, very difficult to do. And you mentioned Big Boy Mikey there, and he actually came through for us. He's not here because he's over in America, but he was like, I want to do this. And so he came through with us he has right-in answers. And so he actually did it with just 5 and the 3 honorable mentions, which I think is amazing.
And a first.
It's a first. It's a first for Big Boy Mikey. And because he sent his in so early, so quickly, because he did it quickly too, which was the biggest shock. Because he sent them in so quickly, it was able to help shape my list, because I can look at his list and go, okay, well, we're going to mention these songs, so I'm not going to mention them. Because some of them on his list, should be on my list. Like, they're amazing songs. So let's have a look at his honorable mentions. He includes Money, which is the Babes entrance song for PWA by Lecky Lecky 47, I think. I don't know. He also includes Kingdom by Downstate, Cody Rhodes. Some of the best lyrics in a professional wrestling entrance song ever. He's got a bunch of CM Punk songs here. He's got Miseria Cantare, which was the AFI song that CM Punk came into for Ring of Honor. Great song. He has Cult of Personality as number 5, which, of course, CM Punk in WWE. He also has Elevated, which is the Will Ospreay song, at number 4. At number 3, he has Metalingus by Alter Bridge, which is Edge's, classic You Think You Know Me. On this day, I see clear. That's that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's that one, yeah. And then This Fire Burns at number 2, which, again, CM Punk. And his number 1 song is actually my honorable mention. So I'm gonna play it here. But this was Big Boy Mikey's number 1. This was my honorable mention. In Heart's Wake, Afterglow, Robbie Eagles theme song. There we go. So Big Boy Mikey, clearly a big fan of the Screamo, I guess you would say, entrance themes.
I don't think that's proper Screamo. It's more like hardcore, but it's all
Well, it's like
yeah.
post-punk, post-hardcore, screamo, emo. Like it's got
You're just
all the
naming music types that you've heard of.
they're genre blend. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. He likes that. Like if you look through his list, it's very clear. There's a very specific theme. It's the kind of entrance music you listen to at the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, one thing that was difficult, this is not related to that song, sorry. One thing that was difficult is like differentiating between a good theme song or like a good entrance song and a good entrance in general. I know the examples I gave to you were Gangrel. He is my favorite entrance of all time.
Yes, coming up from under the stage with the cup of blood. Yeah.
And the dun, 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 wow. Anyway,
but the theme song itself, not a banger.
Same with Undertaker. Like when you hear the gong, it is like, oh my god! But it's like the actual song. It's all about the actual entrance itself, and it's the smoke, and it's the dark lights, and it's the 50-minute leisurely stroll kind of deal.
Right.
Not the actual song itself. So to me, the theme in my list is definitely songs you can sing along to. That seems to be my criteria was how much do I want to sing along to this song and how well does the song fit the character? Because that's a really important thing.
See, my song was how well it fits the character. My criteria, sorry, was how well it fits the character, but also I don't really care about singing along so much as just if it's a banger, just in general. If it makes me want to move, if it makes me want to, and if it makes me feel things, right? Like if it takes me back, and that in Heart's Wake song in the Afterglow, like you can't not sing along to that in the Afterglow. Like
I wish that there was like a video camera here that could show me actually walking around and dancing to it.
Because it's a straight up banger. And so some of my other honorable mentions, and so one that really speaks to the feel that I get, the Goldberg theme song, right?
Yep.
In WCW, like the big na, 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 na. It's almost like Game of Thronesy. I almost did Game of Thrones for a second, but like just that whole thing and the knock on the door and the drums hitting and then he's walking out and that big thing. It created a vibe. And the other one for me that created a vibe was and so I've got this in my honorable mentions as well, Mick Foley.
Yep.
You know, the car crash, the guitar riff, it's just a classic. Like again, it's not something you sing along to, but it's a straight up banger. Like you definitely, it gets you nodding your head at the very least. What did you have in terms of honorable mentions?
Just on Mick Foley, I feel like essentially Mick Foley and Stone Cold Steve Austin had the exact same kind of thing, except Mick Foley had the car crash sound and Stone Cold had the glass breaking.
The glass breaking. Yeah. See, really I considered Stone Cold.
Sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I considered Stone Cold, but then I was like, for me, Stone Cold, it was never about any of the songs he had. It was always just about just the glass. That's all it is. Just the glass shattering. Exactly. Yeah. So I couldn't put him on my list. Yeah. But who have you got as your honorable mentions?
Let me remember. Okay. So the first one that came to mind was the New Age Outlaws. And that's because I loved them as a kid. And that part where like Road Dogg comes out and he does the, oh, you didn't know. No. Yeah. That whole thing. And I could do that part and then the generic part of what they would do in the ring. Like when I was like 7, 8 years old, I would like mimic that exactly.
Yeah, do it verbatim. Yeah.
Yeah. So that for me is like the one that I loved most as a kid because it was like one that you could talk along to and sometimes they'd change it up and things like that. So yeah. Next one was Here Comes the Money, Shane McMahon.
Yes. Because
it is such a fun song and it takes me back to the Invasion kind of era deal, which unpopular opinion is one of my favorite eras of wrestling.
Yeah, I love the Invasion.
Yeah, and when
Come at me.
when Shane McMahon came back in, was it 2017? I want to say before WrestleMania.
I thought it was 2018. Maybe it was 2017. Yeah, he's been back for a while now, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's when he faced The Undertaker. And then the next year he faced AJ Styles. And then, yeah. So it's 2017. Like when they're giving Stephanie the award and then the thing, here comes the money. I'm going to sing all of them. I'm so sorry. It was like the whole crowd popped. And it was just like, it's just one line. That's all you needed.
Yeah, that's all you need. Well, when Jules sent through the theme song thing, he said it's a requirement that we sing all of them.
Yep.
So the fact that you're doing that for him, and the fact that I did the horrible version of Goldberg, I think he'll like that. We do it for you, Jules. We do it for you.
Because I wasn't really like a WCW fan, the Goldberg theme doesn't, like, I know his entrance, you know, I know the sparks and the security and and I think personally Jericho did it better when he did it with the overweight security guards in the crop tops. What comes into my head if someone was like, sing the Goldberg theme song, I'm like, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, that's not it. That's Star Wars, darling. That's Darth Vader. No, well, I preferred WWF. Like, I was a WWF guy. We've talked about this before, I think. I preferred WWF, but WCW was more easily accessible. So, like, Goldberg, Harlem Heat, some of those theme songs are sort of, like, they take me back to my childhood. But, yeah, Goldberg, just because of the vibe, it feels like he's one of those things where I would like to be there for a Goldberg entrance, where I flew to Melbourne for the Undertaker's entrance alone, you know? And I would do the same if it was, like, Goldberg's coming. I'd be like, I kind of want to be there for that song, man, and just that vibe and the sparklers, you know?
Yeah.
Even if they were like, Gilberg is coming to Melbourne, I'd be like, I might fly as long as he's going to do the entrance.
Love it. And finally, which seems to be, spoiler alert, the one song that's on, in some capacity on all our lists is Money by whatever her name is, for the Babes. And to me, it's really hard for me picking songs that are actual songs, because I need to hear that song and identify it with that wrestler, as opposed to like hearing the song and being like, I fucking love this song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so when this comes on, all I think of is the Babes.
Yes.
And it fits them so well. And it's
so perfect.
And it's such a fucking banger.
Yeah, I feel like if I heard this song on like my A-list hip-hop playlist that I get that comes through and it changes every week, if I heard this on there, I'd be like, oh, this is a pretty cool song, and I'd probably like it, and I'd never listen to it again, right? But having heard it at PWA with the Babes coming out, it made number 5 on my list, the Babes entrance theme, Money, and it's just listen to it. It's a banger.
Chillin', laying in the cut though, easy. Tryna see what up though, Brooklyn, home of the cut though, notorious. Y'all know how the rest go sleep. One eye open, too smart cause I'm always scoping, watching, seeing how these lames look, lazy. This how you get your frame took, money. I got money. Money.
It's a banger. It's a banger. Like the first time we met Danders was at the PWA show Fridays Are for the Babes, right? Mm-hmm. And like that song as the first thing that we heard as the show kicked off, it just set the tone for the entire, like we were there to fucking party, you know?
We heard that song 3 times that night and I did not get sick of it. Did not get sick of it. No.
And it helped when they did the entrance with that, they had the cheerleaders and the giant beer pong cup and stuff, which it's just amazing. But the song itself as an entrance theme, like you said, it fits them perfectly. It has you from the offset, like it has you clicking along. Eventually they bring in the claps. It's just an amazing song, and it's so good for them to come out to. It gets everyone vibing. I don't think there's anyone in the PWA audience either that doesn't love that song.
Oh, absolutely.
It's part of why Maddie Wahlberg's so over.
Look, a good song can really, because it makes you excited for that person to win and excited if it means that you get to hear that song again. I know that sounds really cheap, but like the example of that I didn't have because it's like, I just really like the song. That's why. But when Lockie Hendricks used to come out to Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys, I would be like, I don't give a shit about this match, but I want Lockie Hendricks to win because I want to hear Larger Than Life by the Backstreet Boys. I go through like my Snapchat memories, and like once a month there's me and whoever I'm with dancing to Larger Than Life.
As Lockie Hendricks makes his entrance.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, a good song has the power to get you over, absolutely. So they did just narrowly miss out, and that's because Maybe I'm just a little bit jaded because I am such a broke homeless person. I'm not homeless. I'm just like, I choose to be unemployed. So I'm like, I can't relate to this song at all. But yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
Sorry, end rant.
Yeah, I don't relate to the song. Okay, money,
Yep.
I need money. That's a better song for me. But let's move into our actual lists. Well, that was part of my proper list, number 5 on my list. What have you got at number 5?
Number 5, maybe we just play it and then, because I feel
All
like
right.
this song needs no introduction.
No chance, so that's what you got. Up against a machine too strong. Pretty politicians buying souls for run song. Puppets won't find their place in line. But tie a string around your finger now, boy, 'cause it's just a matter of time. 'Cause you've got no chance. No chance in hell. You've got no chance.
What a fucking jam. This song is I can remember the first time I heard this song, and it was, I'm going to be called out if it's fucking wrong. It was when Stone Cold Steve Austin was feuding with Vinnie Mac, and I'm not sure if it was either at the 99 Royal Rumble or if it was like the next. I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, because Stone Cold had no chance in hell of winning the Royal Rumble, and they took that and they made it Vinnie Mac's when he came in at number 2. And the other time I can remember it is when the Millionaires Boys Club played it at Wrestle Rock before Super Showdown. And everyone in the room was fucking singing their heart out along. It's a song that everyone knows. It might not be like the one that pops into your mind when it's like biggest fucking banger, but you see it at like the post WrestleMania Raw shows, and like when he comes out, and then even after it stops, the whole crowd are singing along.
Yeah,
Still?
and you get chills, like goosebumps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Even just watching at home, in those moments, I will get goosebumps.
yeah. And like even when that was playing, I'm like fucking up and dancing and shit, singing along.
Oh, you have no idea how hard it is to not sing along, because if I sing along, it'll come through with the song. So, so I'm sitting here just like, nope, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whilst it's not something I'd maybe listen to in the car on the way to the gym or anything like that, when it comes on and Vinnie Mac comes out, when he does his swaggly arm shit, fucking love it.
The walk is just as iconic as the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. And it fits him so well.
Again, I think that's going to be a theme with a lot of these. It has to fit the character. To make a list like this, it has to fit the character. You have to, and it has to be like intrinsically linked with the character, which is why I think it's amazing that CM Punk was on Mikey's list 3 times. And I buy it too, because like all 3 of those songs, when I hear them still to this day, and maybe less the AFI one, but when I hear them, I think of CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, this next one for me, I'm glad that you brought up Lockie Hendricks and the Backstreet Boys. That's not what made my list here, but a very similar vibe. People thought I was joking when I said 3 Count in WCW was one of the greatest factions of all time. I wasn't joking, and here's their theme song from WCW. Can't get you out of my heart. Heart. Come on. It's amazing. They come out and they're like singing along and they're high-fiving people in the crowd and signing autographs, and there's women screaming. It's amazing. They had the boy band gimmick, you see.
I respect your right to have whatever you want on your list, Gregory. And our
Oh, come on.
differences are what makes us human beings.
Oh, I feel attacked.
I'm not sure I could have gotten more condescending there.
You got to remember the guys in this group. Okay, two of them you would know. One of them was Hurricane Helms coming out to that song, and the other was remember Shannon Moore, and he's like a punk kid, and he's coming out to that song. That just makes it even better for me, right? Because they're portraying a boy band, and they're so not that. I just loved every second of it.
And look, and that's what makes it beautiful, Gregory, is the happiness that the song brings to you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Next.
And so what have you got sitting at number 4 on your list?
I cannot believe I have this on my list. Like,
neither can I.
And when Mikey didn't have it on his list, I was like, what is going on? But again, it goes back to the vibe, how well it suits the character and how much I want to sing along to this. And despite the problematic nature of Hulk Hogan, when it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, he's a real American, and it is a fucking jam, and I couldn't not put it on the list.
So, Hulk Hogan, fighting for your life. Of course, this was before Black Lives Mattered.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing about this is, as I always say, I got into wrestling about 1997, 98. And I was pretty much exclusively WWE or WWF as it was at the time. I only knew Hulk Hogan. I knew he was in NWO, which were the bad guys. My dad loved him, and we watched Santa with Muscles every Christmas. And I didn't actually, because the videos that I got from Civic Video, at the time, were all sort of around that 97, 98. The first time I heard this song was at Backlash 2000 when The Big Show cosplayed as Hulk Hogan and comes out to this song. That was the first time I heard it, and I was like, what a fucking banger. I think Patterson and Briscoe came out to it as well around that time. And it's only once I went back and watched back catalogs and things like that is when I knew that found out it was actually Hulk Hogan's song.
Yeah, amazing. So my number 3, we're up to number 3 now. My number 3 comes from the ECW era. Now, do you remember One of a Kind, Rob Van Dam's theme song? In WWE?
I used to think it was more than a game. I think I thought were the words. More than a game.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And it was only when I got, WWE Aggression or whatever the fucking CD was, and the song was called One of a Kind, and I was like,
and then it clicked in your head.
Yeah. Disappointed, but yes, I do remember.
That's happened more than once, I'm sure, with many people. But yeah, that was a pale imitation of his actual theme song, which was Walk by a band called Kilgore.
Can't see I'm easily
this whole fucking song.
No, well, we had to get to the what do you say? We had to get to that part. And the thing is, too, RVD had he would take forever to come out, right? Like, he wasn't the come through as the guitar kicks in guy. He was waiting until almost the chorus before he would come through and do his whole thing.
Whose song is that like now? That is that Brock Lesnar? Yeah.
No, that's Kevin Owens.
Oh,
You're thinking Kevin Owens. Yeah.
That's who I
Which
thought
is a banger in and of its own.
When you were playing it, because you only played the first part, that's who I thought it was.
When we did it previously, when I was checking before we went live.
When you were testing the songs, that's what I thought it was. And I was like, that's an odd choice, but okay.
Yeah, no, I do like the Kevin Owens theme song. But no, this is
songs. Maybe one thing that separates, and I guess it's kind of why we both either have Australian wrestlers or older wrestlers. Themes today, they kind of all sound the same, especially male themes.
A lot of them can, yeah. I think that's been the way throughout history, though. There's different. You can clearly identify different eras.
Yeah, the only one that really stands out, and I almost put it on my list, but I was like, I think I just like the wrestler, is Sami Zayn's. His is one that is just totally different.
Because it's got that ska vibe to it.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Bum, bum,
yeah.
It used to be
it's a good song. It's a very good song. But no, but I included the RVD song because, I liked the vibe it gave, and it's the soundtrack preceding and often proceeding at the end of the match to a lot of my favorite memories of, late era ECW, which was the ECW that I was introduced to with those VHSs of, Guilty as Charged and whatnot at the local Blockbuster, which was how I discovered ECW. So I was a huge Rob Van Dam mark. And then I got the Nintendo 64 game, and when I would create a wrestler, that would be my theme song, would be Walk by Kilgore, because it was in the game, because it was his theme song. So I would always use that song. And so it's got a special place in my heart from when I was a kid.
Whenever I would make custom wrestlers as a kid I think it was SmackDown was the first wrestling game I ever owned. I would always choose the Godfather's entrance, because then all the girls came out with him as well, and I just thought that was fucking sick. I was a weird fucking kid. Yeah, whenever
player.
Yeah, whenever I made custom wrestlers, they always had the Godfather's entrance and Chyna's taunt, because her taunt was that you could do backflips.
Right.
So yeah, fun facts with Danders.
See, I liked when the Xbox came around, because you could actually put your own CDs in and put your own theme songs into the Raw games and stuff, which is something SmackDown did for a while, but now they've stopped doing it, and it's you just got to pick from these generic songs when you create a wrestler. It's awful.
Boo.
Yeah. So who have you got at number 3? The coveted top 3.
Number 3, and look, I was really struggling into where to put this, because song-wise,
it's an awful song.
It's such a bad song. But
that's the point, right?
And and this is a song that came out long before I knew about not before these wrestlers were born, but not a huge stretch. And it is Figured You Out by Nickelback, which is the old Brat Pack song, or their song when they're not in MCW. Something that's it's not sad, because I guess they're doing their own thing, but most MCW regulars now have a custom song, and I'm wondering if that's for copyright issues or
when you're streaming shows and charging for streaming shows, you'll have to pay royalties, and so to avoid that, you want to put in your own custom music. And of course, the people who make the MCW theme songs, Falcon Arrow Sound, they also do the B+ theme song. And I'm a big fan of what they do. I like their music. Yeah,
fucking sick. And look, the new Brat Pack song, we do give it a lot of shit because it's the Fremantle Dockers song. And they're probably thing I hate.
Loosely inspired, if at all.
Yep. And and if there's one thing I hate more than Nickelback, it's the fucking Fremantle Dockers. So they come out now in their purple jerseys and their purple theme song. And look, I didn't realize how much I missed it until they play it at Wrestle Rock or something like that. And it's Like, it suits them so well because it's like this cringy fucking music and they come out and do their cringy shit. And it's like, now when I hear it on the radio, I'm like, yeah.
It's associated with them now in the minds of any MCW fan or Melbourne wrestling fan. It's definitely associated with them. And it's one of those things though where the song, like, it was such a great heel move having Nickelback as your fucking theme song.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
it's so cringe. Such a good heel move. But it was such a good heel move that it got to a point now where when it comes on at Wrestle Rock now, you get a pop for the song.
Oh, absolutely.
So they had to get rid of it. They had to.
Yeah.
But let's have a listen to the original Brat Pack theme song. Nickelback.
I like your pants around your feet, and I like the dirt that's on your knees, and I like the way you still say please while you're looking up at me. You're like my favorite damn disease, and I love the places that we go, and I love the people that you know. And I love the way you can't say no too many long lines in a row. I love the powder on your nose. Ooh, and now I know who you are. It wasn't that hard just to figure you out.
Yeah, it's impossible not to hate someone who comes out to that song.
Oh, absolutely. I just like, yeah. It reminds me also of, like, I started watching MCW in loosely in like 2015 and then more frequently like mid 2016. So to me, it's just like, it reminds me of like when I was finding local wrestling, and because that was like that, and then as I mentioned, the Lockie Hendricks song were two songs that I just knew all the words to already, and like
Yeah.
there's something about being able to feel like a part of things when you can sing along with everyone, even
Yeah,
if you 100%
definitely.
don't know what's going on. So I just think it suits them so well. And look, their new song is great too, but the original will always be the best. I was just having a good time. Like, I have to mime when you're playing these songs because I can't not sing along.
Well, see, if you sing along, I can edit you out because the song doesn't play on your track. But anyway, let's
Just
not,
edit
because that's
you
more work
out.
for me.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's more work for me. But I've got, we're entering the number 2 spot now. So for my number 2,
Are you ready?
You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters.
Break it down. Degenerate into something fool. We just got tired of doing what you told us to do. That's a break, boy. Yeah, that's a break, little man. Break it down. Degeneration. Degeneration.
You think you can tell me what to do?
do you know who you're talking to, Danders?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what the next part was, but then do you know who you're talking to? The next part isn't actually the answer to the question.
No.
This was, look, very close to being on my list.
I don't know how it wasn't, to be honest with you. You're a WWF kid. Like,
I know, and I loved D-Generation X so much, but now when I hear it, I just think of X-Pac. It's like, because I feel like everyone else kind of moved away from the song, and X-Pac kept it even like when D-Generation X were broken up.
yeah, like through till he started X Factor, I think, is when it changed.
Yeah, why didn't you have that whatever that terrible song was? God, that was so bad.
I do not know.
But yeah,
But
what a
no,
fucking banger.
DX. Like, I was a fairly rebellious kid for, my straight-laced Christian school that I went to. because I got a scholarship, so I got to go to this straight-laced Christian school for free, and I did not fit in at all. And I was the guy that was coloring his hair. Like I got asked to leave this school for uniform infractions, basically, because we used to get like the marks in our diary. And I feel like DX informed a lot of my rebellion. Like a lot of it was poopy car kind of stuff, you know?
And like the suck it chopping kind of thing.
Hell yeah, that was more in primary. But yeah, no, it's I've always loved DX, and I was a big Triple H guy, right? Like it's very hard not to just have a top 5 that's all Triple H songs. Like I'm a big fan of Triple H, of his music choice, even like all the Motorhead songs. Like it's amazing. And yeah, I was a big Triple H guy, big DX guy, and so it was impossible for this to not make the list because it informed so much of my youth.
I like to think, look, technically, because my favorite part of DX was the New Age Outlaws. I'll be completely honest. So I think their song, the "Oh You Didn't Know," I think that's my version of having DX in there.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there was
which is fair.
really,
That's fair.
Was it WrestleMania? I want to say WrestleMania 15 or 14, where they actually performed it live for the entrance.
I don't know exactly which WrestleMania it was, but yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
That to me, because like one of the things with music is I love to connect it to how I know it. Like I like to, especially with like I can remember with so many of these, like the first time I heard it, and I can tell you the pay-per-view and whatever. And that's not the first time I heard it, but it's definitely the time that sticks out in my head for that song. It was they performed it live at WrestleMania. End rant. Sorry.
That's all right. That's fine. That's fine. It's the live thing is interesting because like if you wanted to look at like best live performances of theme songs, Limp Bizkit have to show up and stuff like that. It changes everything when you look at the live aspect, I think.
Yeah, even like on a more recent thing when Snoop Dogg did Sasha Banks.
Yes,
at WrestleMania,
so
not 17, WrestleMania 33. 32 in Dallas. It does bring that element, and it's just like, makes it more of a banger.
As long as it's anyone but Flo Rida, basically.
Bless.
I feel like Flo Rida is the most hated man in WWE history.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I'm not like for someone who hates so many things, I don't hate Flo Rida. I feel like he just makes music for people who aren't me.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I've liked some Flo Rida songs, don't get me wrong. But just as for me, like, I feel like WWE lately with their themes and things, not so much their entrance themes, but like their pay-per-view themes and stuff, the switch from where it used to be, metal and rock and new metal and stuff to just random hip-hop and dance songs is just strange to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess it's maybe just kind of what's like popular and things like that.
I think it's where WWE's gone, like into that big stadium where a mainstream brand feel, as opposed to like, because NXT still have amazing theme songs. Yeah,
probably my favorite one is Could Have Been Me by the Struts. I think that was for Brooklyn 2015 or 16 or something. Yeah, fucking banger.
I think that's a whole other topic. We're giving Joolz ideas now at this point. Or anyone else who wants to get us to do custom episodes, patreon.com/theb+. Now let's hear Danders number 2.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks that drives a girl wild. I've got the moves that really move 'em. I said chill up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy.
Sexy boy.
I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
I'm going to leave you singing in there because I laughed at it. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah. As you were saying before, when you came to Melbourne to see The Undertaker's entrance, I kind of did too, but mine was more Shawn Michaels.
Danders, you live in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know, but I did not want to. I did not want to shell out. I think, and I got the cheapest seats as well. I think they were like $40. I did not want to shell out for this show. I did not want to. I didn't want to go. There was nothing on it that really
exciting?
intrigued me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
So you were in the nosebleeds as well, were you?
Yeah, I was like right under
same.
one of the screens. And it
Wow.
was, look, I was painfully drunk. I was so intoxicated. But yeah, I wanted to go to see this live because I feel like Shawn Michaels is one performer who has had the same song his whole, like, or predominantly his whole career.
From when he went singles, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'd never even thought about that. He may very well have, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is that it doesn't fit him anymore. He's not a sexy boy, but you could not imagine him coming out to anything else. Like, it's still, he comes out and he, you know, even when he was like just a Christian boy, but he was still seeing sexy boy. Yeah, it's, to me, I know all the words, fucking love it, can't not sing along. When Kurt Angle did his little cover with Sherry, what's her name? Sherry Martel?
Yeah, and he's just a sexy Kurt.
Yeah, he'll make your ankle hurt. Massive pop. It was very hard not to put this at number 1 because it is so iconic.
Well, see, I've got a confession to make. I always hated this song. Like, with a passion. I did not like this song at all. It just annoyed me. Everything about it annoyed me. Which, again, I think was kind of the point. At least to begin with.
Yeah, it was meant to be, like, very arrogant and, like, I'm too good for you.
Yeah.
I know how good I am.
And like Kurt Angle, how the "You Suck" ended up sticking even after he became a face. This theme song just stuck to him after he became a face. And then it annoyed me more because I'm like, well, now it doesn't even make sense because you're not the arrogant guy. But it's the song that everyone loved it. Everyone loved it except me, apparently. But I finally got it. I did finally get it when Kurt Angle did his one. The sexy Kurt, because I popped hard. Like, that was hilarious. Kurt Angle's the man. And he made me like this song. Like, that's when I started to come around on this song, was with Kurt Angle.
When he's like, Marty Jannetty still can't walk.
So good. But we actually had the same number 1, Danders.
Which, look, I think, and I can't believe Big Boy Mikey didn't have this on his list.
Yeah.
But
I feel like anyone in Australian wrestling should have this as their number 1 song.
It goes. Sit in the dark and ponder how I'm fit to make the bottom fall to the floor, and they all fall down. It goes. Out of the shadows, barrage of witch tongue, cobra spit over apocalyptic cult, killer cauldron smoke, stop music, seriously. It goes. Can't stop this groove, looks stars, clear off them locks, relentless raw movement for the knock. Meter that G-spot body rock connected. To everything you want, ever did want, we got it one knock, come get us again in that hole and watch me drop this cold.
oh my god, fucking chills.
Guillotine, a song that we do not hear anymore in the Australian wrestling scene. It's performed, of course, by Death Grips, Jonah Rock's theme song. And just, holy shit, like, it's such a, like, the way, when you're in a good venue, especially, like the Thornbury, or like Max Watts, or, just any venue with a really good sound system, just when that bass, like, it's, the floor shakes, and then out comes this just behemoth of a man,
and I think
throwing up the claw. Yeah,
I think when he does that, that makes it as much as the actual song, because personally it's not really my style of music, and you'll notice it's completely different to everything else on my list, but when he comes out and he's like fucking going like rah, and he's doing the claw, it is unmatched in Australian wrestling entrances, in my opinion. It's such a fucking banger. Side note, the first time, because I tried to Google this the first time I heard it because I was like, what the fuck is this song? And I thought at the start they're saying cinco, as in 5 in Spanish. And then I was like, oh, because he says it 5 times. So I'm like Googling, I'm like, what song goes cinco, cinco, cinco? But he actually says it 6 times. And then I was like, he says it 6 times. This doesn't even make sense. And I was like, these also aren't the words.
See, I thought it was sicko.
Ah.
Yeah, but same, like, that's the thing too, is everyone you talk to about this song is like, oh man, this, like, I tried to find out what it was. Like, everyone Googles it. Everyone hears it and everyone Googles it because people want to hear this song. People want to download this song. It's a banger. It's an amazing song. It makes you think of Jonah Rock straight away. And yeah, it's, for me, when he hits the ropes and throws the claw up, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets off the rope and stuff and he goes back about his strutting and, well, not strutting, but you know what I mean? Like he's pacing and the ropes are shaking and like the bass of the song just keeps the ropes shaking.
Yep.
It just keeps the ropes shaking until the song stops playing. It's insane.
And like the actual guillotine sound just kind of like cuts it. This is like the song, like even just listening to it then, I can picture me and like the 5 people that I normally go to when it comes in, we're all we get in like a little circle and we're like, yeah, having a little gang war kind of dance off thing going on. It brings back such good memories. And again, this is like a song that made me really want Jonah Rock to win because I want to fucking hear this song again. Yeah.
And I wonder how much of entrances is being there. Like how much of loving an entrance theme is being there because when you said it's hands down the best entrance theme in Australia, I mean, obviously we've got it as number 1, both of us. So obviously I agree with you there. But and it's sad that we don't get to hear it anymore, and I can't wait for the day that hopefully we do get to hear it again. But it's one of those things where like I feel like a lot of like you got to look at Madison Eagles, Mick Moretti, people who didn't make the list, right? Robbie was an honorable mention for us. The Babes were in there. I think Indy Hartwell's entrance song is amazing. Like a lot of these songs are fantastic. Like we have a lot of really good entrance themes in Australia.
Literally anyone in PWA have like their song selection for their characters. That they're songs that you don't hear all the time, so it's not like you get sick of them. But I was very close to including, like in my like original list, I had Jessica Troy, I had Adam Hoffman, I had Robbie Eagles. Pretty much any PWA guy, they have such fucking bangers.
I had Mick Moretti's version of Turn Down for What, but I couldn't find it. So I had to leave it off my list because I couldn't play it.
Yeah. To me, these were like, it was like songs that, those songs are like, when I hear them, it's just like, oh, this is such a fucking good song. It doesn't in my head, like if I hear it on the radio, I don't automatically think, this is this person's song. And that was like the big contributing factor to me is like
which you would with Brat Pack, you would with Jonah Rock. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Probably the only exception maybe hearing the Beyonce one that Shazza uses. Probably I think of her.
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Queen Bee fan, but I do like that song. I have a playlist of all Aussie entrance themes that I listen to regularly when I go for runs and stuff. It's great.
What is it like on a music streaming platform?
Like on my Apple Music. Music. Like it's,
I use Google Play, and no one fucking uses Google Play. And they're like, check out this playlist on Spotify. It's like, why would I pay for Spotify when I can fucking play for Google Play and get premium YouTube for free? I haven't watched an ad on YouTube in years.
Yeah, see, Apple Music for me, they do a student discount, and so as a uni student. I get onto that for $6 a month. It's way cheaper. But that's our top theme songs, guys. That's our top theme songs, Joolz. You're welcome. If you want to hear us do, I'm going to say it again. If you want to hear us do one of these custom episodes where we'll cover whatever you like, let us know. Patreon.com/theb+, $10 a month, and you get to tell us what to do. We're dancing monkeys at your disposal. Danders, where can people find you?
You can find me fully naked on patreon.com/Rachel Danderfield.
Have you rebranded as the Naked Wrestling Fan yet?
Not yet, but to be continued. You can find me on Twitter at Danderfield, on Instagram at Rachel Danderfield, and please don't add me on Facebook. I fucking mean it. I'll leave you on red. Just fucking don't add me. Where can we find you?
I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling would have fit. The B+ Wrestling everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do, and thank you so much for listening.